So, Jamaal, what flipped the switch with you? 216 yards in the fourth quarter.
Just come out here and try to run downhill hard as I can. I know I've been going through some stuff like fumbling the ball. I just wanted to get over that and I've been praying with my family and in the O-line they opened some holes and Nebraska's defense was really good. My lineman we was motivated trying to push the ball, and it was just like Jesus was on my side this day.
Did you feel like you needed a game like this to prove?
The coaches feel like I needed to run the ball more and tougher and harder and hit the hole more explosive like one drill. And that's one main thing I try to go out there is to run downhill instead of run sideways when I see a hole. And the line had opened some holes out there for me.
Greg, can you talk about zone read?
We had to make major adjustments at halftime. They had blitzed 19% of the time coming into this ball game. And they probably blitzed us, I would estimate, over 75% of the time. And so we went in at halftime and made some adjustments. And we talked about being able to run the ball. We felt like that if we could get Jamaal into the secondary, we had some opportunities for some big plays because of the amount of people they were committing to rush the passer. And so that's kind of what we did. But at halftime, it was a major overhaul of what we had planned to do going into the ball game.
First time you ran it when Colt went out and John came in?
We ran it once before that, and I had talked to Colt earlier in the week about being able to use that play more because we felt like it really set up well for what we were doing. And then we used it several times. Colt had an explosive run on it. Jamaal had several explosive runs on it. Our offensive line did a nice job after they saw what they were doing. They were jumping into a double eagle defense tremendous amount of the time. And so I couldn't be prouder of our players or our offensive coaches being able to totally switch gears at halftime.
Jamaal, can you talk about the play when Colt went out, John Childs comes in? What was it like in the huddle? And did the momentum change after that 25-yard run?
We was trying to stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Our starter quarterback was down. We just wanted to go up in there. And when John came, we know we had to run. We had to stay focused. And even though Colt was out, we still had to gain yards because we was down. We tried to come from behind. So it made a big old momentum when I ran that big old long run. And then I guess Colt came back in the next play.
Hey, Colt, why'd you come out? Were you kind of woozy or?
I got the breath knocked out of me. I couldn't breathe. I just needed a little bit. Just got the breath knocked out of me.
Colt, was that you talk about the zone read and how it changed everything?
Basically, they was blitzing a lot, and so like linebackers come to the line. Then that's when the lineman would pick them up, and when I saw a hole, I just try to run straight up the field. Started to run sideways. I tried to run north and south to the west and east.
Duane, can you talk about Frank's forced fumble?
Yeah, it was a great play. I thought at the time in the second half we needed to get some rhythm back for this football team. Obviously it wasn't a glorious start in the second half, but then the defense stayed in there and had a couple 3-and-outs. And at that time we needed a spark from somebody, so to create that momentum right there I thought was huge for the football team.
Colt, on Jamaal's 40-yard run up the middle, his last touchdown, did you see something on the line? Was that a check at the line that you called for Jamaal?
Yeah, it was. We had a sweep called, and we had worked on it. If there's an alley player out there, then obviously he's going to get tackled for a loss. And I switched the call up. I was glad the offensive line reacted. Jamaal reacted, and it ended up being a pretty good audible. So it worked out for us. That was big. No, we were underneath. We were underneath the center.
Well, you left the game for one play. Did you feel a difference in the momentum or anything else when you got back in? Things were flowing a little bit more?
No, when I got back in the huddle, I could see the fire in the linemen's eyes. I knew there was something different about them. Being back in there with the huddle, this team's awesome. They never give up. They believe in each other. I got back in the huddle and I said, look me in my eyes. I'm going to look every one of you in your eyes. Let's go to work. Let's play. This is why we play college football right here. Let's go win. And, it seemed like we had the momentum from that point on, and it was big for us.
Greg, can you explain some of the major overhaul at halftime?
Yeah, we went to wanted to get in the eye some, and we had some adjustments we had to make in blocking schemes. We wanted to get into the zone read, and though we had worked on that, the fronts they were giving us were different than what we had worked on, so that had to be adjusted, and so we didn't manufacture any new plays, but we just had to adjust a lot of things and switch gears based on the way they were playing.
Jamaal, how does today's game affect your confidence?
After I ran that long run, it just like I was breaking out crying because, you know what I'm saying, it just came like it was my time. This is my time to show everybody what I can do, and I proved it out there today. And it just came, and Coach Ruck came by my side, and he laid his hand on me, and he just started crying. He's like, I'm glad for you now. Like, let's go play ball. Now you got all the other stuff out your way, all the varsity stuff. And now it's time to start thinking about the positive things. We got to go out there and play now.
Ooh. Is that the 86-yard run?
Nah, it's just like after we got on the field again, just after I scored all the touchdowns, and he just came on my side, and that's when we got the ball back and we tried to run all the time out.
Jamaal, 1,000-yard rusher. Talk about continuing that Texas tradition of always having a 1,000-yard rusher. What does it mean, and kind of put it in perspective a little bit?
That means a lot to this team. Basically, it means a lot to me and my linemen and my coaches and our offensive lineman coaches and running back coaches. It's my first time going over 1,000 in Texas in my career, so I'm real happy about that.
The hole bigger in the fourth quarter?
It just like they was blitzing a lot, and when I saw a hole, I blast through it whole.
Greg, did John coming in remind me his preferred play is zone read? Did it remind you, hey, let's get back to zone read?
Well, we ran the zone read on that play, and Jamaal popped it, and then we actually ran it 3 consecutive times for a touchdown, if I remember right. So, yeah, we had discussed it at halftime, and Colt executed it well. The very next play, they jumped into an unusual look. Tony Hills at left tackle had to make an adjustment, which he did well. Colt read it well, and he kept it for an explosive play, and then we came back to it, and Jamaal popped it.
On your 86-yarder, was Quan the one that got the block on that side?
I think it was Nate or Billy.
So fast, did you need a block on that one?
To get the dude going outside, and I just saw another dude coming, and I tried to outrun him.
Duane, on the 2 touchdowns, that's the flip. You talk about what was that? Was it a coverage issue or?
Yeah, I believe I got to see the route and all, but we might have had a mix-up there.
Hey, Colt, I couldn't help but notice when you're looking at the stat sheet, you're kind of shaking your head and smiling. What's jumping out at you?
I said, does Jamaal not like 300 yards or what? No, I just, some games are like this. It took us a whole half to figure out what was going to work. I've never been in a game where they're going to blitz every play. Literally every play they were bringing somebody, and most of the time they were bringing everybody. And, we had worked on a little bit, but that hasn't been part of what they've been doing all year. They had nothing to lose coming here. You got to give them credit for what they did against us. And once we made some adjustments and were able to start audibling at the line, changing plays, and trying to figure out the holes for Jamaal, Jamaal played awesome. He's got to give credit. We all got to give credit to the offensive line because they were opening up holes, and that started to work, and we started clicking when we could run the ball, and it helped us get the win today.
Greg, Oklahoma State and A&M had a field day with the zone read against Nebraska. Was there something that they were doing to catch you from doing it earlier or going to it more than what you thought to?
Oklahoma State ran very little zone read against Nebraska.
A&M, they ran it like 20 times.
Yeah, theirs was a 2-back zone read, so it was a little different structure.
Colt, you get back in the game after missing a play and you decide to keep the ball instead of giving it up? I mean, you just got the wind knocked out of you.
Man, have you ever got the wind knocked out of you? That was the play. We just had to make it work, and it was a different front than we had seen. They stemmed down, so I was actually reading a different guy than I normally do. And when he broke in, I was like, here we go. So no, I really wasn't. It was fun. We just had to do what they gave us, and once we started getting on a roll, once we started getting the momentum back, we were able to run the ball, and you know, we were fortunate to get a win.
You got a trainer and a head coach today. Did you dust off Mac over there on the sideline?
I looked up. I was on the bottom looking up like this, and I saw Coach Brown down, but I saw everybody around me down too. I'm not fast enough to get to the sideline before I get tackled, I guess. That's what happened.
Well, when was the last time they called a zone read when you were the quarterback?
We've been running it all year, but we haven't run it a lot. We've maybe run it 2 or 3 times, and, you know, we worked on it this week, and Coach Davis said he wanted to try to get it 10 times this week, and we probably did that, and it was effective. And, you know, we're just going to do every week what it takes to win.
One last question.
Fred, when you guys were down 17-3 and 17-6, and so how much patience did you have to show yourself to continue to run the ball? Was the tendency for you at all to start passing, or could you convince yourself to keep running?
Well, it was, it's a tendency for me to throw the ball because I like to throw the ball. But based on what they were doing and the way, you know, we had discussed at halftime, we just needed to stick to what we had decided to do. And we made a big deal with the kids that this is what we were going to do. And eventually, we felt like eventually, as many people as they were putting on the line of scrimmage, we would find a crack. And Jamaal found several. And you know, give Nebraska credit for coming in here and doing something entirely not schematically different, but the amount of times they did it.
Chip, go ahead. Colt, getting Mac 100 wins today.
Yeah, that was – and give Coach Brown credit. He's done an amazing job here. And everybody on this team loves him to death. And, you know, it really wasn't that big a deal this week. He never really talked about it. That just shows you the man that he is. Any win is important to him, and any win's important to us. And this one was big for him. And, you know, we love Coach Brown and everything he does for us. Too bad I didn't mean to take him out on the sideline, though.